What's up, everything Browns Nation? 7:08 in Columbus, Ohio. Technical difficulties trying to keep me away, but not going to happen. Let me know how you're feeling, how you're doing on this Thursday evening. Woo! It's time to have some fun. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. My audio's been going in and out over the past hour, so let me know what device you're watching on. iPad, iPhone, Android, TV, if you're listening on some headphones, however you're watching, in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. Curtis says, time to get it in, laugh out loud, let it begin. Frederick says, I will always be a Browns fan no matter what, dog check, ride or die for life. You got it right now. Anthony says, I don't care who the coach is. The GM is what I want to win, but I'll always be a Browns fan. Perry says, Apple iPhone. Here we go. It's time to get it going, ladies and gentlemen. It's the offseason. Now, I'm usually particularly not an off-season guy. You know, I'm just being honest. It's not my cup of tea, cup of coffee, Kool-Aid, wherever you want to go with it. It's not really my thing. I am a during the season guy. But boy, this offseason has started off with a bang, might I say. Let's just kick everybody out. You're fired. You're fired. Hey, you get a pink slip. I don't care. They're just cleaning house. My God. George says, is the house cleaning done? I don't think so yet because Dee and Jim are still there. Shoot the Trill says it's the Mike McCarthy show. iPhone 11 George in Chambling, Georgia. Blind Rodent 3019 Samsung Android loud and clear. And Clyde says, what's going on, Corey? My guy LA says, what's up? We need to do an IG live soon. Hey man, let's get it going. Whenever you want to do it, let me know. Curtis says, we can hear you. I'm super excited to find out who the coach is going to be in the next few days. iPhone, Troy, Ohio. Bubba says, Pleasure Ridge Park, Kentucky. Hey now, Kentucky in the building. Tim says, just hire McDaniels and get it over already. So we got a McDaniels fan in the building. So who do you guys want? Let's get it going. Some house rules real quick. If you're not on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Link in the Facebook description. I would appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let's get it going. And if you're under a tree, if you're in a cave, John Dorsey got the boot. It's been a couple of days. What were your initial feelings when you heard the news? Were you setting stuff on fire? Were you cursing out the Haslam? You guys suck. You stink. This is why we are the worst franchise in the National Football League. We can't keep nobody. When you first heard it, did you send out every tweet in America that you could think of? I hate him. Is that how you felt? And then a couple days later, did you calm down? Did you go, okay, let's see where this goes? Or did you go, hey, he hired Freddie, so he has to go too? Did you say, I don't care, you're gone because Freddie's gone? How did you think when he got the boot? Shoot the Trill says, I hired the wrong coach and it cost me my job, buddy boy. Clyde said, just wondering if we're going to have a team left, George. Sorry about the weather. Remember, no dog checks. Rainy and cold, my friend. Hey, I remember no dog checks. Perry says, I loved it. Ben says, did not know how to react, honestly. LA says, I'm a Roman fan, but I understand why folks want McDaniels or McCarthy. Glad there's no interview for Urban Meyer. Urban's not coming here. I have said it from day 462, I don't know what day they said Urban was coming. He's not coming here. All right? It's not going to happen. If you thought it was going to happen, book the ticket. No, it's not happening. I will put, I don't know. What do I have in here? I will put that notebook on it. It's not happening. That's the only thing I can put on it right now. All right? It's not happening. Urban is not coming to Cleveland. It's not happening. But John Dorsey, when he got let go, I was mad at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I'm an emotional person. I was upset. When it came down on my iPhone notifications, he's fired. I said, what are we doing here? I wanted Freddie gone, but I didn't want Dorsey gone. Look at all these people he brought in. Look at these players. Now what? Is everybody going to be gone? Because these are his players. Usually when you get a new GM and a new coach, guess what? You're sweeping out everybody. I don't have time for it. My blood pressure can't take it. My heart, my emotions. That's what I first thought. I was punching the air. I was punching my fist in the air like, oh my God, what now? I'm just going to be honest. That was my initial reaction. I cannot lie to you guys on camera. That's how I felt. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, man, I really didn't care. Do what you got to do, man. I got faith. No, that's not how I felt initially. I'm just being honest. Curtis says, I hope Dorsey doesn't target our players. You know he's going to land another job. Vince said recruiting in college did not transition to the NFL. John says, agree. Urban will not come. Jason says Haslam says they're going outside the organization for a GM. And Perry says if Paul is running the show like they said, it will be Stefanski and Andrew Barry. And Curtis says Dorsey was Alex to step into another position. Asked to step into another position. He declined the position, and Dorsey decided to walk on his own. That is correct. Deborah on YouTube, I agree with it from the beginning. He wanted to bring Freddie back another year, could not admit it. He made a mistake, and he cared about his ego over the team. Shoot the Trill says, have you heard what Monken had to say about the stuff going on inside the Browns organization? And Blind says that Shoot Trill, yeah, read that. They're good at hiding dysfunction except on the field. Let's talk about it. Yes, I heard about it. Our guy, let's get into it. Todd Monken. How'd you guys feel about this when you heard this? Todd Monken, he was like, you know what? We suck, all right? Our coach stinks. I don't like it. So he was being a snitch on the field before games, just snitching. He didn't care about snitches get stitches. He said, hey, I can read the writing on the wall. He's trash, he stinks, and he was telling other coaches about it. That's what they say. I'm just telling you what I read. He said, man, listen, this guy is changing up plays. We ain't do this during the week. He's just drawing on his hand and saying go. That's what Freddie Kitchens is doing. We are a disaster. We are a mess. I don't know what's going on. That's how I seen the conversation going. I don't know exactly how it went, but Todd Monken was spilling the beans, tea, whatever you want to say. When I read it, I wasn't shocked. There is nothing that can come out now that I go, oh my God, how? It was a mess, a total mess. And I agree with the comment on YouTube. Hey, Freddie is why Dorsey got fired at the end of the day. Now they came out and said it was an organizational decision to hire Freddie Kitchens, not just Mr. Dorsey, but they were saying he wanted to bring him back for year 2. Some fans wanted him back from year 2. I know I didn't. And that to me was his downfall. But come on, you can't be snitching during the year. I'm not saying that's cool. You don't snitch to the other team that our team is in shambles if it is. Come on, man. You got to be better than that. John says, tell me who really wants to come coach here only for a year. Josh says, I don't want the Bills OC. Everyone else we're looking at head coach seems legit and should set up for success. I probably missed a couple. Perry says, if Paul is running the show, I read that one. Sorry about that. Josh says, who is the best coaching candidate to develop Mayfield? Well, I'll tell you who I think is, and this could be wrong. This is just my opinion, and I'm going purely off resume. There could be an offensive coordinator that's better with quarterbacks. Be out there. Greg Roman, man, listen. As far as transforming an offense, man, this guy here, this is not my pick, but if we hire this guy, I wouldn't be upset. I'll tell you that. Greg Roman, man, Listen, this guy took the 49ers offense, transformed it under Cap, and look what he did with that. Super Bowl appearance. Hello. And look what he's doing with the Ravens. This guy likes to run the football first. And we got two dynamic running backs. Hello. I would not be mad if we hired this guy. But the question they asked, who would develop Baker Mayfield? In my opinion, just off resume, alone as a head coach, to me, would be Mike McCarthy. Now, that's the easy answer, Corey. He's been coaching for years. How do you come with that? That is so easy. Why not Josh McDaniels? He's had Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady. You could say that. Josh McDaniels said he loved Baker Mayfield. You could say that. But Mike McCarthy, all he has to do is sit down in the seat and say, hey, I've coached Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and have a Super Bowl to my name. I've coached them for a combined, I believe it's 15 years, if I am correct, somewhere around there. That resume right there, if we're just talking about Baker Mayfield, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks at the head coach position / offensive coordinator. If we're just talking solely Baker Mayfield, and they say they want coaching experience is what they're looking for. Hey, I'm here for it now. I'm done with the, hey, let's go with the flavor of the month. You know, he's young and stop it. If we're talking about Baker Mayfield, listening to a coach and turning him around from this disaster of a year, sign me up for Mike McCarthy. He's interviewing today. I don't know how he went. He's going to interview with the Giants. I don't know how many more people they're going to interview. But if we're asking solely of Baker Mayfield, a guy that's coached Brett Favre, offensive coordinator, coach, and Aaron Rodgers. And Josh McDaniels is good too. Don't get me wrong. I know some people will have problems with Josh McDaniels. He stunk in Denver. He sucked. He was trash. He got fired. Now we're going to hold somebody for 10 years ago. He was young. I get it. Now what he did to the Colts was just dirty. Yeah, that was nah. I'm going back to Bill. Good luck with that. So I can see that. I understand that. I get it. John says, we have a lot of talent, but no head chief. Curtis says, I agree, Corey. He wasn't on my list at all. Well said, my friend. Perry says, are you going to replace Mayfield? I wouldn't. Jason says, Monken was pissed because Kitchens wouldn't stick to the game plan except for the first drive. Not saying Monken is right because you never air your dirty laundry. I agree. But you can't snitch. You can't snitch no matter how wrong you are. This man ripped up the game plan, drew marker on his hand and said, let's go. But to me, you can't do that. Eric says McCarthy, Johnson. I read that one. Curtis says, but he also calls plays. I must have missed one before that. Perry says Greg Roman is a running QB coach, but he's also calls their plays as the offensive coordinator. I think that's what Curtis was mentioning too. Greg Roman, man, I'm telling y'all. Curtis, Mike McCarthy won 64% of his games. His record speaks for itself. Perry says they are interviewing Roman tonight. Yes, sir. Robert Saleh on Saturday. Saleh, I'm probably saying that wrong. The San Francisco defensive coordinator. That guy will get you hyped, though. I'll tell you that. That's one thing he will do. Man, you make a big stop, he's going to run out to the 50-yard line and might tackle you. John says, speaking on Baker, he had more talent to work with this year than last. He did worse, so the issue is Baker. He's a bum. I don't agree with that. He did do bad. As Cheryl says, I think there's no help for Baker. I think I'm going a little hard on Baker, but I can't defend him too much. But just listen to what Todd Monken say. If you're switching up the game plan on the fly, eating your sticky donut on the sideline, and then drawing a marker on your hand, That's kind of hard for a second-year quarterback. I'm not trying to defend him too much. He did make bad reads and bad throws. Receivers did drop passes, but he did have some bad decisions as well. Jeremy says McCarthy has interviews with the Giants, the Panthers, and insiders has possibly Dallas. Thank you for that, Jeremy. 504 says even for solely on Baker, Pete Carmichael deal with a shorter QB and Breeze, who they compare Baker to. DJ Manning says Mike McCarthy will be head coach. It's McCarthy or Harbaugh. Harbaugh needs to stay where he is at the team up north. That's where he belongs, my good sir. Perry says play calling was horrible. Ron says look at the Dolphins coach. Take a dumpster fire. Goes 5-11, including a win in New England. That is Bill's coaching tree. Take Josh McDaniel and let him pick his team. Well, Josh McDaniel, I think, is high on Cleveland's radar, but it's if he will take the job. I think I read on YouTube, George mentioned it. Let me go up. I think I seen it. I was going to. He said McDaniels is not leaving Bill. Basically, he's saying McDaniels is not leaving his coaching father. That's what he's trying to say. And that's the risk you have to take. Do you want to wait out Josh McDaniels? He's did it once. He has left a team at the altar once. He went to marry the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts said, I do. And then when they went to Josh McDaniels, he looked at the door. There was Bill Belichick, and he ran off, and he couldn't do it. So you have that to worry about. Will he leave Robert Kraft, Massage Parlor Kraft? Stop it. That was just irresponsible. I am not going to do that. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, is he going to leave that tree? That's what you have to worry about. Does he love Baker Mayfield that much to leave Bill Belichick? I don't know. That's something you have to worry about. But I think he would be number 2, 1A, 1B with Mike McCarthy. Stefanski right there because they loved him last offseason. George says Haslam said getting the coach and the GM. Thoughts? Man, listen. I don't know if I believe anything Haslam said at this point, but I like it. Get the coach first, then get the GM and have them work together. The assistant GM, Elliott Wolf, was with Mike McCarthy basically his whole career, so that's something to think about too. He was with Green Bay forever until he came to Cleveland. That's something also I think that's in Mike McCarthy's corner. He already knows the assistant GM. He knows what he's about. That's something in his corner. But I like they're talking good game here, but I have to see it to believe it now. This is what we should have did last year. Why didn't we do this last year? You could say it was all Dorsey's fault. That's fine, but you're still the owner. You still have final say-so. We should have did this last year. But that's okay. Josh said, what's the deal with Des Bryant acting like the Browns' new GM on Twitter? You're talking about we should get Eli Manning. Baker needs to learn more. Look at the weapons we have. Landry, Beckham, Eli would be perfect. Chubb and Hunt. Yeah, I read that. Look at me. Okay, Des. Sure. I'm surprised you didn't say, and then sign me, and then we will be the hardest team to beat. I don't know why. You know, sometimes when you're bored on Twitter, you just tweet things. Now, if he said sign Eli Manning to be the QB's coach or the backup, I would say, oh, you know, nothing wrong with a veteran. I don't expect the Browns to win a Super Bowl next year, but hopefully the next year's make the playoffs. Listen, I ain't even thinking about that. Let's just get the coach right. Rob says, what a train wreck. I can't say nothing about that either. I mean, listen, I ain't thinking about playoffs. I ain't thinking about winning streaks. I ain't thinking about Super Bowls. I just want to see who we come with and go from there. No more of that. We should have learned our lesson, in my opinion, of talking anything of that. Practice by practice at this point. I just want to see who we get. John says, Think about this. In 2022, will be 20 years since we made the playoffs. That's depressing. That's what that is. My goodness. Shoot the Trail says, cool, but I'll pass on Harbaugh. But if they don't get McCarthy, it's going to be more of the same, in my opinion. Kraft is actually facing federal charges in that massage parlor, says George. DJ says structure and culture for any other success. Those charges are going to his grave. I'm just saying. Ooh, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but I'm sorry. Mokreet J27. Hopefully I said it right. He says Hunt's gone next year. I hope not. I hope you're wrong. You're wrong. I hope he is back. DJ says, why pass on Harbaugh? Well, do you want my real reasons or do you want my fandom reasons? My fandom reason is because I'm a Buckeye fan. And we beat him every single year. So he needs to stay where he is at. I'm just saying. My guy Calvin says, what's up, Corey? Shake my head. John says, I don't see a change in our losing ways also. Dwayne says, so disappointed. I told the wife, don't renew our tickets. Josh says, will we be able to retain Higgins now? That's a good question. I hope we can retain Higgins because now we have a whole new coaching staff, a new GM. Evidently, Freddie Kitchens had something against Hollywood Higgins. What it was, I don't know. Maybe he didn't like him walking the red carpet when he scored a touchdown. Maybe he didn't like his hairdo. I don't know what it is, but hopefully we can. We'll have to see. John says, I think Hunt will stay. Yes, Buckeyes for life. And Calvin says, hell nah to Harbaugh. And Robert says, entering 2020 without a coach or a GM, perfect way for the Browns to end the decade or start the decade, however way you want to look at it. Yeah, I mean, ain't nothing we can do now. Just hope they get it right. Just hope they get it right at this point. And it all starts with this man right here. You can't fire the owner. No matter what we do, no matter how hard we scream at the TV set, we cannot get rid of Mr. Haslam. It's not going to happen, just like the Cowboys can't get rid of Jerry Jones. We're stuck. He says we're going to get it right this time. We're striving for it. I know it's been a long time, blah, 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 blah. That's all I heard. All right? We're striving to get it right. But he got pockets, man. He just firing people left and right, paying them left and right. Got to give him that. He is not afraid to pay a fired person. So I will give him that. Demetrius says, move the team to Columbus. Hey, I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to get beat up on air to get stuff thrown at me. I know you can't throw that, but you get what I'm saying. But I do live in Columbus. That's all I'm saying. But I don't want to get beat up. I just want Columbus to have a pro team, not saying the Browns. All right? I'm just saying. But we can't get rid of the owner. We just can't. We just have to pray one day he gets it right. I don't know how. I don't know when. But that's what we have to do. Sign Schobert, says Tamara. Robert says, there's no reason to think that we'll get it right. Just got to pray, man. That's all I can say at this point. I can't refute anything you're saying. There's nothing on the track record that says this is it this time. All you can do is pray at this point. And if you don't want to pray, you don't got to. I'm not saying you have to. But that's all we can do. Hopefully, I don't know. Calvin says, get it right. Josh says, yeah, he paid Dwayne, but oh man, no, see, Dwayne Bowe. That might have been, I don't know. That could be one of the worst signings in free agent history. Dwayne Bowe. You know it's bad when you forgot You had a player on your team by the name of Dwayne Bowe. Julie says, Happy New Year. So glad to hear you. Thank you, Julie. Glad you're watching. Appreciate you. Julie over on YouTube made the switch over. Hey, I catch those little things. Thank you, Julie. Jerry Jones, brother from another mother, says, Mo Creek, you're right. George says, stop, you're killing me. And George says, team doesn't need all the hype. Just show up and take care of business and crack some heads. Less talk, more action. I agree with that. Rick says, anyone that even mentions playoffs until at least week 10 should have their credit score lowered. DJ says, let's just all agree we deserve a real team again. Love the Browns always, but please get it right. Where can I get a Browns visor? It's McDaniels. And Jeremy says, yeah, but yelling at the TV makes me feel better. George says all the people in Cleveland need to pull their money together and buy the Browns. Hey, start a petition. Thomas Jones says not Columbus Browns, don't even sound right. And Calvin says all that talent, find someone to draw up plays for them. We have real competitors, and I enjoy your live feed because you say it like it is. John, I appreciate it. I try, man. I just try. Talk how I feel. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, and sometimes people in the chat say that is absolutely ridiculous, and I go, hey man, it is what it is. I told y'all I'm not always right, but I appreciate that. You guys are the heartbeat of this show. Your comments keep me going. Mr. Haslam, I don't know. And you're right, Cleveland Browns don't sound that great. I just want a pro team in Columbus because, hey man, that's all I want. It ain't got to be Cleveland. Take Baltimore. Take them away. Nah, that ain't going to happen. But yeah, but let's rethink this. Let's rethink this, and let's go to a guy that this is going to affect the most, and that's Baker Mayfield. Because whoever comes in here, this is not their guy. We know how this works. We all know how this works. Why? Because we're Browns fans. We have seen this story unfold before. New coach comes in, not their quarterback, not their guy. One season, I need a new guy. I'm the cook. I need the food. I need my food. I don't like this food. New quarterback. So what's going to happen to Baker Mayfield? Because that was Dorsey's guy. Dorsey's pick. They can say we as an organization, we picked Baker Mayfield all you want, but we all know when a GM and a coach comes in, hey, this is going to affect Baker Mayfield. Another coach, another offense, different GM. Here we go. Another merry-go-round. This is what people feared when Kitchen was going to get fired, which he had to get fired now that we know what's happening. But I echo their fears. Another offense he has to learn. This is who it affects the most out of everybody on the roster because it's the quarterback. Will this be bad? Will this be good? This is why this hire is so crucial. This is why I think it has to be an offensive mind that's brilliant. Jason says make or break season for Baker. Rob says going to miss Kitchen's quadruple reverse run pass option not. Listen, Robert, man, listen. 3rd and 1 reverse flea flicker pass double root-de-doop 10-yard loss. What? Nobody's going to miss that. Calvin says my twin bro. What's up, Calvin? Well, bro, the only thing about Baker is superstars need to show up to camp and work out. I agree with that. There needs to be no missing camp this year. Perry says he's got one season. Demetrius says, I'm sorry, he's a bum. He can't read defense. He got everybody fired. I think Demetrius doesn't like Baker. I'm just throwing it out there, and that's fine. Listen, people don't like me, and it's okay. Hopefully he can prove you wrong this season, Demetrius. I hope he can because I'm tired of starting over at quarterback. I'm not saying I'm the pom-pom Baker guy. He ain't making me no money. He ain't paying my bills. But I'm tired of changing. I just am. I want it to work. I think the incompetence, whatever word you want to use, as a coach really hurt him last year. I really do think that. Part of the commercials, I understand that. Part of that's his fault. But I do agree with people. This year, if it's a replay of last year, oh boy. Oh boy. I ain't gonna be able to say nothing. I will unleash if it's the same replica. I mean, if I don't see improvement, I mean major improvement. I know, but who am I? Who cares if you unleash? You're nobody. You're right. But I will feel better to unleash if I don't see any improvement. Mo Cree says, get a veteran backup and make him compete. Get some fire under him to start balling like when Taylor went down. You make a good point. When he has some type of competition, it seems to bring the best out of him. It seems to. When he had Tyrod Taylor, when he knew he had to beat this man to start, he went balls out. All the way out. I mean, he just didn't care. Gunslinger mentality. I'm coming for your spot. And then when Hugh Jackson said, hey, man, come here, man. We're going to come to the office. You beat out Drew Stanton for the backup quarterback. What? Okay. He had that edge to him. But this year, when he looked behind him, like, this guy? This is my backup? I ain't got to worry about nothing. But I agree with that. You need to get somebody behind him. We all know they're not going to start at the beginning of the season, but it's somebody with a little bit of talent. Not some person that came from a different league. I forgot the league already. That's how bad it was. What was the league? I don't know, and I really don't care because they got shut down after about 9 games. All right? We need a legitimate backup quarterback, a veteran that can be right behind him over the shoulder like, hey, buddy, that was a terrible throw. I could do better than that. But, all right, whatever. Keep him on his heels. I do agree with that. He is better when there's competition. There was no competition this year. If Baker went down, we were like, oh, Lord. And it got so bad, I've seen some players wanted the backup in. Some fans. Bring in the backup. And I was like, really? You want that guy in the game? But that's how bad it got. But I do agree with that comment. A-Hart says Cleveland needs a no-nonsense coach. Will find a player, bench a player, sick of seeing someone getting paid millions who complain they didn't get the ball. They had to block, getting paid millions. Told you to block and block. Good nothing about a new quarterback coach, yet why? Demetri says cocky for no reason, shake my head, low-key head case. All receivers are going to complain about getting the ball. All of them. There's a few that don't, and you cherish them with your heart. Hopkins from Tennessee, Julio Jones. I mean, they are stars. I'm not going to say Michael Thomas because that man gets the ball every other play, so he has no reason to not complain because he's that freaking good. I don't know a star receiver that doesn't complain when they don't get the ball, so I'm not going to use that one. There's not many star receivers that don't complain, and when you get them, you cherish them. The Julio Jones, the DeAndre Hopkins, you cherish those, you hold them, you put them in your stocking for Christmas, and you say, thank God we have a non-receiver that doesn't complain when they get the ball, because even the greats wanted the football and their team stunk. Chris Carter talked about it. When I wanted the ball, I was open. When I'm covered, I'm open. That's almost every receiver. And there might be one I'm missing. If there's one, put it in the chat. I'm probably missing them, but I just can't think. I'm talking about star. I ain't talking about mediocre receiver. I'm talking about top-notch star. And I don't count. Michael Thomas might not complain either, but he's always getting the ball, so I can't count him. I mean, he catches everything thrown his way. He's a man-child. But I don't go with that one. I can see where you're coming from. Good one. Larry Fitzgerald. I forgot because he's like older now, but you're right. Larry Fitzgerald did not complain. Never. When he was in his prime, he did not complain. He ran his route, blocked his receiver, him and his dreads back to the huddle. into play. You're right. Forgot about Larry Fitzgerald. Thank you very much. Did you say Randy Moss didn't complain? Oh, he complained. He took a year off in Oakland and said, I'm not playing. This team stinks. And then he got Tom Brady and said, thank you, Jesus. I'm not counting Randy Moss on that one. He took a year off of football while on the field. But I'm just saying. Now y'all going way back. I didn't get to see Steve Largent play, so I'm going to take your word for it. I didn't get to see him play. I didn't get to see Steve Largent play. But Calvin says, every receiver covered but open. They love competition, making someone look stupid. John says, haha, biggest man, baby. I don't know who he's referring to on that one. Back on YouTube, Cheryl says, I'm with Demetrius. Baker is overrated. Everybody is, hey, man, I can't say nothing. He's going to have to prove it next year so he can come on the show. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. And come back at you guys, but I can't say anything. Rick says Baker needs to stay away from LA and focus on his craft every day this offseason. I agree. I don't want to see no more commercials. I don't want to see it. S-Boy says, what's up, fam? Hey, fam. Jeremy says, with the weapons Baker has, a half-ass attempt shouldn't be sufficient. He doesn't need to be the world's best quarterback. And 504 says, I don't think I heard Ted Ginn Jr. complain. Listen, he's from Ohio State. I love him. He didn't complain. But he is not in my criteria for top superstar receiver. I'm just saying. But you're right. He didn't complain. But I wasn't putting him in the Julio, Fitzgerald, Hopkins. But, you know. But I love... Oh, I'm talking about Moss. Okay. But I love that's what I'm talking. That's why I love the show. I love the conversation, the discussion. I love it. Beautiful stuff here. But you're right. Baker has to get better. We have some people that say, Baker, listen, he's trash, Corey. Just deal with it. He is terrible. And hey, you guys can feel that way. I am holding off on Baker Mayfield. He had a bad year. He had a little bit too many commercials, but I have faith in what I've seen not last year, but the year before, or what I've seen in Oklahoma, that he can do it next year with the right coaching. Less commercials. He will be okay. I'm putting my neck out on the line for you, Baker. I got people in the chat calling him trash. I can't defend it right now, but I'm defending it by saying he will be better next year. I see him being better. Don't let me down. Because if you do, you will get the rant of all rants that won't matter because you will never see it. And if you do, you will come at me on Twitter and will make my day because I will tag it all over the place. But anyway, Perry says, need offensive line help too. Appreciate, yeah, he does. And Steven says, Baker has a bad attitude. Josh, I didn't see that one. Josh said, T.O. didn't complain. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was a T.O. fan. People, you can bag me for it all you want. That is fine. I love me some T.O. But to say T.O. didn't complain might be the most ludicrous. And he put a winky emoji at it because you know he was laughing when he said it. But the most ludicrous thing I've heard in my life. He might be the number one complainer out of all of them. But he was still my guy, even though he complained to the best of them. If Baker doesn't improve next season, he will be hanging out with Buddy Boy and Freddie. Clyde says, I don't think he's trash. I think he needs to focus on the game, watch some dag-on film, /tab, /Microsoft tablet, because they don't know what film is. They'll give Baker 2 more years to prove himself. What about Kaepernick for QB? That is over 504. It won't happen ever. George says Baker's problem is that he got married. George has said that all year. He's saying Baker getting married was the end of him this year. Do you guys believe that? Let me know in the chat. Are you thinking marriage had anything to do with it? Mo Cree said he got fat too. And 504 says Baker said he doesn't need a QB coach. I didn't read that. Now, the only thing is this. Did he have a QB coach last year that worked with him? Because if he did, that statement was ludicrous. He has put on a little weight. I was trying to get off. I was trying to sneak by without anybody saying that, but all right, Baker, you're making me look bad up here, but I'm still gonna stick with you. I'm still sticking with you. Steven said Baker's got a fake left leg. Demetri said, bro, I love your show all year long. If I ever see you around the city, drinks on me, go Browns. All right. We're going to come up to Cleveland. Demetrius, I'm looking for you. I am looking for you. King says, hey, my brother, it's not the quarterback, it's the offensive line. And Calvin says, T.O., not a complainer. What? He was the main one. Keyshawn Johnson or Damian Tomlinson. What? He was joking when he said that in the comments because we all know he was a complainer, but still my guy. I don't care. Nobody says y'all can hate on T.O. all y'all want. That was my guy. And Steven says, D has him. Got caught with Freddie and I am not reading. You almost got me to read that. You almost got me to read that, Steven. You almost got me to read that. Whoa. Man. You said Miss Haslam just got it. Wow. Oh, boy. Rick says if his new wife could cut him off each week he lost, we'll get to the Super Bowl. Hey, Rick. Hey, man, you might be on to something. Cheryl says, yes, I agree, George. Married and got the big head. Cheryl is all over Baker Mayfield today. George said it's just like the Madden curse. Man. And Calvin says, okay, I was about to say T.O. was the guy, but we got to keep it real. Oh, yeah, we keeping it real. We keeping it real. 504 said, I agree. Married life made him weak. Too much nookie, not enough practicing. Y'all killing me here. And Calvin said it's not the wife. Calvin is sticking up for the wife. He says no excuses. None. Oh, you guys are killing me here. I want to thank everybody who's been watching thus far, whether it's been the whole show, whether you stopped by and left, whether you're already gone and you don't see this message. I'm still going to thank you. Everything Browns Nation. We are in off-season time. We are hiring coaches. Send in your application today. You never know what can happen. It can be your opportunity of a lifetime. Make up that resume. Listen, Freddie Kitchens, I'm going to do it. Freddie Kitchens got a job, so you never know. I know that is disrespectful, but hey, why not? You can do it. Put in your Madden experience. Put in your NCAA football experience. Put in how many years you played football. If you have kids and you coach your kids, put that how many years you've been watching the Browns play and fail. Put in how many years you've watched Super Bowl teams win. How many times you have dissected game video. Put it all in there. We all have a shot. Put in that application. You never know. All you can get is a no or be ignored. That's all we can do. Browns off season. We're hiring a coach. Let's get him in there. Let's go. Steven said, wish someone had hit Jimmy with a shoe during his pressure. And Steven says, Baker's glass eye stopped working. You guys are going in today. 504 says, do you think Wilkes is gone? Yep. Robert says Al Bundy's the next coach, and George says we speak the truth. You speak the truth, he says. The truth. Hey, man. I can't deny, man. There's really nothing I can say today. I can't say anything. He's just going to have to prove it on the field. Until then, I cannot say much. So Freddie Kitchens. Oh, good old Freddie. I couldn't go off the show without talking about our former coach. Do any of you think that Freddie was put in a bad situation? That this really wasn't Freddie's fault? He just wasn't ready for this roster and this team at this time? Nobody's going to nobody's going to say no to a coaching position. Hey, we're hiring you. We're going to offer you an NFL coaching job. Well, you know, I'm going to have to respectfully decline because at this time, I am not ready to take on that type of position. Give me a couple more years and then get back at me. No, nobody's going to say that. They're going to be like, yeah, get it, let's go. But then after week 7, week 8, we can see the writing on the wall. It's just not happening. 4th and 9 draws, 3rd and 1 flea flickers. Pittsburgh started it. Don't throw the Thor hammer, Myles Garrett. But was he put in a bad position? Is it all on Freddie, or is there enough pie to go around to write Freddie Kitchens a letter and say, hey guy, it's not all your fault. Keep your head up. Look for a coordinator position. Let the wheels turn. Hop back in that saddle and make another run at it. Is it all his fault? Let me know in the comments. Let me see if there's anything on YouTube. Somebody said the mic is too loud. Let me know. Is the mic too loud? Let me know. I could turn it down a tad bit. Is the mic too loud? 504 says, I think if he would have gave up play calling, the season would have went better. Bryce Z says it's Dorsey's fault. Robert says Freddie was stupid for not letting Monken call plays. He could have blamed him for the bad, I don't know what that word is, for the bad recode. George says Freddie just signed up to coach rec league football. Josh said turn your phone volume down. Steven says pizza. Calvin says all that talent, what? Josh says if we had a real coach, Baker wouldn't have gained all that weight. Baker was just fall. I'm sorry, that was a good one. Josh said Baker was just following Freddie's guidance. It's just sad he was only guided to the kitchen all year. Oh boy, that was good. That was a good one. Wow. That was good. I can't even front on that. People are saying Mike is cool. Okay, Mike is cool. Good one, Josh. I got to give you something for that one. Where's it at? I don't even know if that played. But I don't know if that played or not. I don't think it's working. But anyways, that's a good comment. I think it's on Freddie. I really do. And here's why. Like somebody said, give up the play calling. You had numerous times to give up that play calling. And you didn't. Numerous times to give up that play calling, and you said no. You said no, I've got it. I call the plays. You do what you do. Plenty of times to give up the play calling, focus on something else. I think that was one of his main downfalls, was his stubbornness. So I think it's his fault. I think he deserves 80% of the blame. Dorsey deserves 10%, and the other 10% the players. Because the players play football. They do. They deserve some of it, Dorsey and then him. You can't be stubborn. If something's not working, change it. Do an audible. They're saying that he worked him too hard in training camp. Look at all these injuries. He didn't know how to manage them. Cheryl says, Will I bet Freddie won't be hired by another team? Justin says, what will it take to get Bill Cowher? It ain't happening. Rick says, all I know is ironic. His initials are FK. 504 says, oh, I missed something here. 504 was angry on that one. Cheryl says, well, I bet Freddie won't be hired by another team. Said that one. And Robert says, that's why we shouldn't hire another OC as head coach. Hire a DC. I missed that comment, 504. Is I missing something on that one? The CTFU, let me know. But all right. Steven says, if Monken had been calling plays, the season result may have been different. I agree. Ahart says, after Freddie got home from being fired, he found his playbook was from T.J. Watt. Wow. But yeah, I do think that it's on Freddie. I'm not giving him a pass. Yes, maybe he was put in a difficult situation, but you had a lot of talent to succeed, and you didn't do it. It's on you. I'm not giving no passes, no excuses. I know I'm not important, but it's on you, man. You had a chance. You could have audibled, switched it up, changed things around. Stubborn, didn't want to admit fault, except for it's on me after every mess up. That don't count. Everybody says that. It's on me. It's on me. It's on Freddie. You said it yourself. So I'm not giving a pass on that. Not at all. Steven says Freddie will be hired as equipment manager at high school. Bruce says running back coach for 4 months, later head coach. Way too early to give him that position. Bill Belichick was in the coach for years as a defensive coordinator. He learned from a lot from great head coaches. Not saying that Freddie Kitchens hasn't learned a lot. Freddie wasn't an offensive coordinator for years. He just got thrust into it, at least with Bill Belichick taking over for the Browns back in the day. His team went to the playoffs. John says Freddie will be back at Alabama next year. And Alexander Frazier says Freddie fired from the NFL for life, period. Wow. Life? He ain't going to get another shot? Another shot? Robert says Belichick was a DC and Schottenheimer was a DC, and both were great coaches. So we're going to see. We're going to see what the Browns do. I told you. Right now, if I had to pick, if you put my feet to the fire and you said pick one guy, who are you going with? I'm going with McCarthy. If I had to pick right now, he's the first interview. He has the most head coaching experience. He's coached 2, not 1, but 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, has won a Super Bowl, has been in multiple playoffs. Multiple. That's who I'm picking if you put my feet to the fire. But I'm not picking. That's who I pick. He is established. Was it 16 years at Green Bay? 15? I don't have the total number in front of me, but it's a lot. He's been out of coaching for a year. Time to assess, look, see how the game has changed. Probably get that fire back in his belly. But I don't know how the interview went. There may be articles out on it now. But that's who I would pick as the head coach. But there's a lot of interviews to go around. But the more interviews you get, who knows how many spots get taken. He may be like, you know what? I ain't waiting on y'all. I'm going to New York. So who knows? But the Browns are going to do their due diligence, and that's fine, and they should. So I don't know if he will be around that long. By the time they get done interviewing everybody, who knows? I think they said they're going to interview Josh McDaniels on the 10th. That's a week from tomorrow. So we'll see. But that's who I'm going with. Steven says the best coaches know how to delegate. Kenny says, who do you think should be the next head coach? Alexander said, life, bro. He got capped. Jason said, Miles really went to slap Freddie with the helmet. King said, definitely agree with you, bro. John says, I agree. I think he'll be the best fit. Kenny said, what about Josh McDaniel? And Alexander said, the owner talked about him today in the interview. Josh McDaniels, man, I don't know. It's the whole New England thing. Is he really going to leave them? Bryce says, yup, McCarthy hands down it has to be. George says Freddie kept his playbook at the local Dunkin' Donuts. Robert says got to be McCarthy or McDaniels. And then Robert said that's because he lived at the Dunkin' Donuts. Man, I don't hold what McDaniels did back in Denver. He was 33. He was young. That's 10 years ago. Everybody doesn't succeed in their first 10 year coaching. Look at Pete Carroll. He stunk his first time. Second time around, now look at him. One of the best coaches in the league. Run Marshawn Lynch, but we're not going to talk about that. All right? So I'm not going to hold that against him. But is he going to leave New England? That's what I'm worried about. He may love Baker Mayfield. He may love Cleveland. This may be the best chance ever. But is he going to leave is the question. I don't know. That's my worry about Josh McDaniels. I don't hold that against him what he did back in the past. Whatever. That was 10 years ago. It's totally different now. He's learned more in 10 years. I know some people say what Belichick coach has really been good. I would say look at Tennessee's coach, Vrabel. Look at him. He's doing a pretty darn good job. And George says nobody wants to work for Jimmy and D. Man, well, they're going to have to start begging like Keith Sweat. All right? Sometimes you just got to humble yourself. Put on some Keith Sweat and beg. If that's what you got to do. Bruce says Paul D. Podesta won't let the Browns get McCarthy. I really want to know why. D. Podesta still has a job after the 2 horrible seasons. That's a good question. Ahart says, how long does the Browns have to pick a coach? McCarthy is our man. Shoot, they can pick him today if they wanted to, but they're not because they got a lot of interviews lined up. And if you really want McCarthy, I don't know how long he's going to wait. That's the only worry there. They should offer Kyle Shanahan the job. He ain't going nowhere. Steven says, oh, he's a beast, though. Don't get me wrong, but he loves it where he's at. Steven says, I wouldn't trust McDaniels. Jason said, I'm worried we wait for McDaniels and wind up with nobody. Alexander says, so do they hire a new OC anyway? And John says, I think New England's days are done. I will believe that when I see it. My hatred is too high for that organization. Once they're done, I will believe it. But until I see it, then I'll believe it. Maybe he knows something we don't know. I don't know, but I do agree with that comment. If you wait too long, you could miss out. And you have to worry about that too. So if you know you got your guy, you need to go and get him. Robert says, we will never get an O-line good enough to have that Baker can quit using the shotgun. George says, how well has the coach that left New England for the Lions? Belichick's contract's up this year. Matt Patricia isn't that good. Mike Vrabel's doing good in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill. So that gives you something. That gives you something to look at as a positive. 504 says, yeah, it's over for New England. I hope you're right, 504, because I can't stand them, all right? Call me a hater. Hater number 1 right here. Me. I hope it's over. Phil G says, hi there, y'all. How you doing, Phil G? Glad for joining us, even though we're about to wrap it up, but glad to see you. I agree with the hesitance on Josh McDaniels as far as leaving and waiting too long. I told you I would go with the guy on our screen right now, which is Mike McCarthy. Some people want Josh McDaniels. I don't think he's going to come here, but I say don't sleep on Greg Roman. I think he's a very good coach, a good offensive mind. He has took 2 offenses, San Francisco and Baltimore, made them juggernauts. San Francisco to the Super Bowl, Baltimore to be determined. But that is going to be it for me today, tonight. However you want to see it, say it, or hear it. I don't know what that meant, but it just came out. This is the Everything Browns Nation show, the off season. As long as we have hot topics to talk about, I will be here every week. If we don't have anything to talk about hot, well, who knows where I will be. Phil says, have you seen the interview with McCarthy on NBC? No, I did not. I may have to go check it out on YouTube. And 504 says, Browns will find a way to screw the McCarthy higher up. Watch. You might be right. My fear is if that's our guy, they'll wait too long and he'll go to New York because New York will scoop him up. That's my fear. And over on Facebook, Josh says, have a great night, Corey, and Happy New Year, go Browns. And John says, O-line ranked 12th in the league. And John says, I enjoyed it, brother. Have a blessed night. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. As long as we got hot topics, I'll be here next week. Once the topics die down in the off season, you may just see me pop up live because the off season is the off season. But until then, I will see you when I see you. Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Everything Browns Nation. If you're not already subscribed to YouTube, go ahead and do that. Hit that subscribe button, like and share. Until then, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.